Hi, I'm Mike Halleen, and this is the Halleen Machine. In this video, I'm going to show you an agentic workflow driving the Halleen Machine to create this short product video featuring 9 real products based on real photos being generated into a artificial space. I start with 9 product images and a brief, which I will hand over to the AI and let it take over. It will do its own QC and re-render as needed to fit my requirements. Now, of course, the Agentic harness is not a free service. That's a commercial product separate from my software, ComfyUI, or local generation. Let me show you how it works. On the right is the product brief. This is a basic description of the video. It could be more detailed, but the key thing is at the bottom, it asks for approvals at a certain stage. On the left is a folder containing that brief and the 9 real product images. Here's our working environment. On the right is the classic, the Halleen Machine UI, which still can be used during this process. And on the left, this is Claude Code. You can use other harnesses as well. I happen to use Claude Code. And at the bottom, there's a GPU monitor and ComfyUI output. I've installed the skill that comes with the Halleen Machine. Now I'm going to call that skill and pass it the folder full of the brief and the images. It's going to read the brief and start working. It's going to create a project file, which I can open in the UI, and it's also going to start a monitor server, which will be our main interface. Let's take a look at that. So I'm going to open a new tab, open this URL. You can see there's nothing in the monitor yet. I'm also going to open the project file that it created here in the classic UI in case I want to work from here. All 3 of these methods can be used simultaneously: the chat, the monitor, or the UI. Now you can see the generation that started. We're going to fast forward a little bit through time, and here's our first result. Please ignore the orange logo at the bottom. That's a bug. We're going to fix that later. I can already see in this first result that I didn't do well enough in the brief, so I'm going to give it some corrections. These plates are meant to be close to the wall so we can really get up close to the artwork, and what it gave me was too wide. But instead of restarting or rewriting the brief, I'm just going to give it a correction as we go. And I'm using a note field within the monitor UI. Now this note is going to invalidate previous generations. You can see there are 3 of them, but here it's saying flip the 3 wide plates to fail. It's going to set them all to fail and regenerate them. Just watch there. Now they're failed. The ones from below have disappeared and it's regenerating new ones. It's still not there though. I think it's still a little too wide. So I'm going to give it another note with even more detail and request red placeholders be placed in the images for scale. Again, it's going to invalidate the ones it had already done and start again, including the note of adding the red placeholder. It generates a few more. I'm going to give it even more notes. I'm also going to ask it to remove the big orange icon that was part of the bug. Ooh, I don't like those. I'll have to redo those. But we're at our agreed upon checkpoint where I get to approve all the images. And also look at this. It has a solution for that bug, which is a really cool part of this whole thing, that you can fix bugs, you can edit the software, you can add features in here if you like. You have a fully functional AI harness that knows the code base, so you can pretty much do whatever you want. But this is our agreed upon checkpoint, so I'm going to give it my notes here through the chat interface. I'm going to browse the gallery on the right for any references I want to look for. I'm going to tell it to change the size of the placeholder, but now go full auto and work your way through to the end. So I'm trusting it to do its own QC to match what I've asked it for and to finish the project. I can keep my eye on it through the monitor, which I can use on my phone while I'm at home, while this is cooking in the other room. So I'm going to leave now and go hang out with my family and watch TV while this works. And I'll check in on my phone and see if I see any problems and add notes as I need to. It will pick up those notes, make those changes, fail items and regenerate them. Sometimes it's failing items based on its own QC. Sometimes it's doing it based on a note I sent it, but this is going to run unattended, and I have the option of checking in on it if I like. Now here's its proposed finished video with some debug information down at the bottom. So far, so good. I'll keep an eye on this and look for anything like that globe shouldn't be spinning. I'm going to have to fix that in vid 3. Vid 4 looks good. Vid 5 looks good. Good. Oh, I don't like that detail at the bottom of the wall. I'll fix that in vid 7. And I don't like that canted angle. So I've got 3 fixes I want to make. But actually I'm going to do it here through the mobile phone. This is an actual recording I took while sitting on the couch, using my own voice to dictate those 3 corrections. And then it goes to work on them and presents now the finished final result. A few final caveats. Yes, this is using commercial AI with all the token costs that implies. The Halleen Machine software, ComfyUI, and your local generation remain free. For this demo, there's still a lot of details I would fix. There's a lot of flaws if you look close. It gets better at those things as you progress because it learns the kinds of things you're looking out for. You can instruct it specifically how to QC things, and it will get better. I intentionally used a fresh version for this demo. It does help to have a working knowledge of the Halleen Machine. However, more and more, you can auto-drive it in this way. So you really just need to know the basics as how assets are set up and how workflows get integrated. And the Halleen Machine UI can still be used for uploading assets, making approvals, browsing different takes. You can continue changing the project, and both the AI version and the manually edited version can work together, not overwrite each other, but allow you various different ways to express yourself. And that's my goal. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think I got wrong. See you next time.